John, you're out of here in a year. Let's get somebody in here that can do this.
Yeah.
I'm out. Well, I'm going to just make a point. The court found that J.B. Pritzker's mandate null and void. So that means, though Dr. Algren was referring to the mandate existing, it does not exist anymore. Because that, per the court, is null and void, irrelevant of the schools. The mandate period is null and void, so you do not have to abide by it.
I appreciate your comments, but that's contrary to what our legal counsel has told us.
And I think I think you need to find better legal counsel.
Use it as a lawyer as a shield. It's not me, it's him.
The mandate is not a law. Laura, you got Telegram? You got the white rose?
Next up on the agenda is the President's report. Due to time constraints, I'm going to save my topics.
That it just got hot in here. Okay? Because I'm going to do a video.
Next up are committee reports.
Yeah, he's got Laura's magic talk. I know how kids feel.
And then my husband was like, I'm not going to go get you out of jail. I said, I'm not going to get arrested. I'm a peaceful person. I'm not a mean person. They need to be arrested for all the stuff that they've done to our children.
You're not in executive session.
Can you
Dr. Keeling, can you please update the board on
what just said on
Parent-Teacher Advisory
children's?
Committee that was held on January 25th?
What?
No advisory.
If people would be a little more quiet, people could hear.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Parent-Teacher Advisory Committee met for our first meeting. The meeting talked about general things that we look to change, or if we've got any advice from the IPA or any other agencies for us to suggested changes. Now the group will break off into a number of different subcommittees to look at different sections of that particular handbook, and then we will form, those committees will form recommendations for the Board of Education, and I believe it'll be April when we come back. April will come back to the board with formal recommendations from all the subcommittees and all different areas. Call it the handbook. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Next we have the superintendent's report, and we're going to have our fine arts and business reports. Those are going to be in board docs later for the board approves at your leisure. So we've got those reports going on, as well as the athletics and activity department report. We'll put those in board docs that we did a few meetings ago in regards to having board access to that. And after that, I think we are on to the consent agenda.
Do we have any other changes to the consent agenda?
The man in blue just showed up, guys. So I'm just showing you guys because it got a little elevated in here. But it wasn't the parents that got elevated. It was actually the board members supporting their cruel agenda.
Okay, well, I move to approve the consent agenda items as presented, which includes Exhibit A personnel recommendations number 78 through 81 as posted, Exhibit B athletics and activities recommendation numbers 25B through 28B as posted, the payment of bills 2022 in the amount of $925,095.86. Got the minutes. Since the executive session minutes closed for July 20th, 2021, August 17th, 2021, September 14th, 2021, September 28th, 2021, October 26th, 2021, November 8th, 2021, November 9th, 2021, December 2nd, 2021, and December 21st, 2021. And approve the resolution authorizing the destruction of certain verbatim recordings as presented, and the second reading and approval of district board policies as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Anderson and second by Drake. Mr. Demonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes.
Mrs. Beals.
Yes.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
I move to approve the regular meeting minutes and executive session minutes of January 18th to January 18th, 2022.
Second. Roll call.
Motion by Anderson and second by Schultz. Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
I abstain.
Mr. Demonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Beals.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
And Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
I have 7 yes, motion, I'm sorry, 6 yes, 1 abstention. Motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is new business.
The first item is just an approval of a settlement agreement and general release of student 2022-01 for the board's consideration.
No questions on the settlement? If not, I move to approve the settlement agreement and general release for student 2022-1.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Schultz and second by Drake. Mrs. Beals.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Demonte.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
Next item is an intergovernmental agreement. Dr. Ingo, please come forward and present to the board.
Good evening. Tonight we have the intergovernmental agreement obtaining for the fuel for the bus fleet that we have that require regular gasoline. We're asking the Board of Education to approve an extension with the intergovernmental agreement for the Village of Gurnee. This would be for 1 additional year effective immediately. Any questions?
Any questions? If not, I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Gurnee for regular gasoline effective immediately.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Schultz and second by Martinez. Mr. Demonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Beals.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Engel.
Sure. The next item is the approval of the transportation driver pay for the 22-23 school year. Attached is the breakdown of each driver, the total increases, everything that go along with it. We're looking at starting drivers at $22.25 an hour. As you can see, it's very similar to what we did last year. We did a general 3% overlay, kind of stayed within there, but then in order to bring up the starting pay to $22.25 an hour, we had to add an additional $37,000 to the budget. This will help us be a little bit more competitive to keep and maintain our bus driving fleet, and also allowed us to start the van driver pay at $18 an hour as well. Any questions?
I move to approve the transportation bus driver compensation for the 2022-2023 school year.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Schultz and second by Beals. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Demonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mrs. Blair?
Yes.
Mrs. Beals?
Yes.
Mr. Schultz?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Love. Next up is old business with a return to school update.
I think we've covered those points just in regards to where we're at, so we move on to the next item. The referendum.
Referendum update?
That's usually how we just get into the conversation. So just as a reminder, we're expecting a couple of meetings tomorrow. I think in the morning we actually have a remote meeting with the Greater Women's Business Association. In the morning, so there's a Zoom meeting that Kathy Blair was nice enough to facilitate for us. And then tomorrow evening here, we're hosting a few presentations at 6:30 for the English presentation and 7:30 for the Spanish presentation. So thanks to everybody who's been helping to communicate those meetings. This one for tomorrow night, as well as all of our series of meetings, to make sure people are well aware of that situation. And we also have, I think we're gonna be at the Warren Township Senior Center on Friday, just to have a little meet and greet with the seniors over there and provide information for them. Remember, we do have a February 23rd presentation at the Warren Newport Public Library. And then we also have, if you get a chance to look at our website, we moved around some things, updated some information for board members. So certainly if you get a chance to look at the referendum pages on our website, that would be helpful. And we're going to, at the end of this week or early next week, we are going to file the referendum question at the Lake County Clerk's office, and then we'll post those questions formally at each one of our campuses and the district office, which is a requirement in regards to the referendum itself.
Anything else to add?
Not today.
Okay. Next up, go ahead.
So we got, the next thing on the agenda, everybody, is gonna be the next reception of visitors. And we certainly would be happy to have you guys talk to us some more if you would like to. I think it's obvious at this point that we are not prepared to change our policy. We didn't come here with that information. We have to take what you're saying. Just give me a minute, people, come on. We're gonna get through this. No.
Get through this? Take them to court.
We heard you.
You heard, but you didn't listen.
Right.
Yeah, we did listen.
Give him the jab. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
You're very welcome.
So as you know, my name is Veronica Kretz.
No.
I have yes.
Got an audience. Yeah!
All very passionate about this.
We understand that.
And we are trying to be as respectful as possible. We are trying, okay? You have to understand, you guys sit behind a table during this. You are not in the trenches every single day with us as parents, with our children, in the school day. You sit behind a desk. I am a school teacher. I understand that. I understand what these teachers are going through. I understand when a student is crying because they have to sit 6 feet away from somebody and they can't hear me because they are 30 feet in the back of my classroom. They can't hear me educate them. This is so unfair at this point. And you, sir, you can be a leader in all of this and not a follower. We are begging follow what the Warren Way stands for and quit discriminating and segregating and separating these children. They are our future leaders, and what are we teaching them? They are going to be in fear. They have such disdain for authority right now. I have a child who's on the football team and a leader on the football team, but when he steps out into the classroom, he has to put his mask up because he doesn't want to get in trouble, because that's what I taught him. What kind of leaders are we growing today when all we're doing is instilling fear in them? Show them that you can be the leader, and go to the lawyers then and say, we have to find other options.
Yes.
Because there are other options out there. And you as the board, you may not be prepared today, but then I ask you, why not? This has been going on for almost 2 years now. My daughter graduated in 2020. She missed her prom. She almost missed graduation. She had a horrible end to her senior year of memorable moments. Things that she has dreamed about since she was a kid. And the seniors this year are going to have that same problem. Or worse. Why? Why can't you make that emergency vote tonight?
You can't. Someone have guts.
You guys, 3 years, our kids have been taking away all this stuff. Why can't you be prepared? There are over 200 school districts in this state that have made the decision to go mask optional. They're not afraid of ISB. ISB's not coming after you. They're not gonna cut your funding. I've had long discussions with my attorney about this, and he assures me that they won't. You guys gotta stop being afraid, if that's what it is. You gotta step up for our kids. That's what the job you guys were put here to do, is to take care of our kids. We voted you in to do that job.
Right.
And as far as prom goes, you guys are seriously taking away from half of the student body? Are you kidding me? Figure it out. You guys gotta find another way, or else make a negotiation. And again, to reiterate the mask thing, these kids should not be masked up at going on 3 years. We're all over it. People would be dropping dead left and right if the masks actually didn't help, okay, or do help. If they actually worked, nobody would be getting this. If you guys have them strapped on and have 2 and 3 masks strapped on, nobody would be getting this virus, but they are. So really, look at the data. Your mask openings are 80 microns wide. The virus is 1. Do the math. Come on, you guys. Work for our kids. Work for
I will take 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I've talked to a doctor before the summer with my husband. I'm a nurse. My husband's an ER doctor for 25 years, board certified, thank you. Okay? We've been through this pandemic together, working on the front lines. We are heroes, apparently. My husband has been taking notes through the whole thing, documenting to make sure we're going by our experiences, what we're seeing in the healthcare field. It seems like my opinion doesn't really matter these days, though. I'm just labeled as a flat earther and a conspiracy theorist. But I can tell you this. Go home tonight, make a fire. Stand in front of the fire. Let the smoke come through your mask. The smoke particle is 470 nanometers. Nanometers are so tiny you can't see them unless you are looking through an electron microscope. The virus itself is 120 nanometers. If you can breathe smoke through your mask, the virus is coming through. The only way we are truly protected, mostly protected, is through a properly fitted N95 mask. I worked in the ER for a long time. We worked with tuberculosis patients, right? TB, bacterium that's larger than the virus. I had to be fit tested every year by other professionals to make sure I could not breathe
I'm a
this
certified fit
scent that was
tester.
coming through the mask. I had true protection around my face. I was therefore able to treat tuberculosis patients, okay? That is a properly fitted medical mask. That is going to provide more protection than what we're wearing on our faces tonight. So if you don't believe me, if you need proof, go stand by a fire and breathe. You are breathing in the virus. What we are doing is madness.
I assume this is the public comment time? Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna change gears a little bit, but it's sort of related to. So first, I wanna thank all the attendees for showing up and actually expressing what they have to express. And this will relate to what I have to say, and I wanna thank the board actually for having this open meeting. This is a challenge to have everybody sort of express what they feel and talk at you, and some of the things aren't so nice. I'm actually a board member in Lindenhurst at Milburn, and my name is Peter Patterini, and I wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm running for the House of Representatives for Illinois, and I picked the right night to come here. Yeah. So this is largely my introduction to you. I'm going to all the different board meetings. This is certainly a hot topic. Like I said, I'm a board member as well. I'm also a school teacher in Roundlake at the high school. We're struggling with the same issues. But I just wanted to let you know I'm running for District 61. That encompasses this chunk of Gurnee, Lindenhurst. I'm actually running against Joyce Mason, who has been in office for a while now, and I feel like maybe some of her promises haven't been lived up to. I'm a conservative voice. I'm married, damn good looking. Got a dog, I got a kid, got a decent sense of humor. I'm pretty active in the community, and I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to pass around my petition. I don't know if anyone here is aware, but when you run for the House of Representatives, you need 400 signatures to get onto the ballot. It doesn't mean you have to vote for me. It doesn't mean you have to agree with me. If you do, that's wonderful. If not, that's okay too. But like I said, conservative, Catholic, go to church, believe in God, protect our kids, and that's about it. Peter Patterini, thank you for your time. Hope to see you soon.
Is he on our team, guys? Sounds like it. Pay attention.
Just very quickly, so at this point in time, the students are emboldened. I think you're gonna see more students who protest. There is no plan in place that I see today to educate those students. That is a requirement. So regardless of what we do, inaction, right, is not a solution here. So sooner or later, there are a number of people here tonight, someone's gonna file a lawsuit, right? So there's that very possibility that will cost money.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
More students will protest, then you have a different problem on your hands, also causing more problems in instructions and learning. So I encourage you to try to make a decision as fast as possible, because those two things are very real options. They're gonna happen. We can't be here in another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, with people still saying, well, we're not sure, the lawyer says, and I don't think that's an option any longer. So, just wanted to share.
Excuse me if I may, but as a student, we are advised every single day to follow the Warren Way instructions. For those of you that don't know, the Warren Way stands for We Are Respectful, Resilient, Engaged, Now and Always. Now, let's start with the very first word, we. There is no we, I'm sorry, but us being divided into multiple groups, how does that make us all one? Yeah. We need to bring together.
Yeah.
Now, respectful. I'm sorry, but how are we supposed to be respectful when we aren't respected?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Resilience. To bounce back. That is something we are completely missing, obviously, because we are still in masks. When there are so many other states and schools and workplaces that have been maskless this entire time, and we are still living in fearful shadows, how is that being resilient? How is that bouncing back and being strong and courageous and sticking together to all fight this virus that you guys call at the same time? This has been extended for way too long and for absolutely no reason.
I agree.
And how are we supposed to be engaged in classrooms when our teacher can't hear us when we ask a question, or when we can't hear our teacher when they try to answer. I am a pretty good student, so I am put in the back because the worst students are put in the front. So that is not only making it worse for me, but it is also dropping my grades and my GPA for absolutely no
At this very moment, you have an opportunity to correct a wrong. You are harming our children. So I ask you, what is your character? Who are you as a person, and who you are as a person is in question at this very moment. Will you choose to continue to harm our kids and follow a null and void mandate that is unlawful? Or will you choose to correct your wrong for the safety and best interests of our children? It's better to vote now, as you're hearing from all of the community, or the community here, or you're going to spend thousands of dollars defending your wrong against this community. Because I will file the injunction against you. So that will happen.
You heard what he said. He's going to file the injunction. In the morning, right? In the morning? Okay, good. All right.
If not today, when? If not today,
He's still going to file in the morning, so.
that we are going to reach, that you will be able to say today's the day. So if what everyone has said today has not mattered, hasn't gone into your heart, if you're not parents yourself, if you don't have children, if you don't see them hurting, I have my own, but I also have a lot of my own kids at school. And I see the pain. So if not today, when?
Oh, sorry guys. I gotta show it all.
From the past 2 years, junior year to sophomore or senior year, I don't even know my teachers' names. I don't know what they look like. I couldn't tell you any of my teachers' names this semester. I think it's not fair to us to have to wear masks if we and ourselves don't think it's right. I go out in public, I don't wear one. It's a public school, right? Yeah, I don't wear one outside. Another thing is the students here. A lot of people deal with depression, anxiety, all sorts of stuff like that, and wearing masks doesn't help. We can't show our true selves, we can't show our emotions, and a lot of schooling growing up in this environment is about emotion. You get to know people, you get relationships, you have friendships, anything. You can't have any of that with no facial expressions. Like someone said, like just a smile one day could make your whole day way better. And with all this going around, mental side effects, physical side effects, I don't think it's very good. So I think you should change it and vote on it tonight.
Uh-oh. He's got an audience.
Really quick, I gotta commend the kids as well. I mean, the kids come up here. The courage you have shown them up here and speak up for yourselves, more courageous than most of the adults in this room, and that is to be commended. Your parents should be extremely proud of you. Please know that what you are doing matters. This matters, okay? For those of you that a lot of you are on your phones, breaking news, supposedly, Chris Kerr's dropping the indoor mask mandate tomorrow, except for schools.
Oh.
So I just, as we're all here, I want to point that out. And another, really quick, to bring this home for 2 seconds. We are sitting here masked. Well, I'm not, because I don't follow a single totalitarian. Seriously, you are sitting here masked because one man has said so. One man has told you you have to wear that mask. Under guidance, whatever he wants to say. legally, we had a nurse up here, I respect that nurse who spoke more than I respect anybody from the governor's office. But we're sitting here with masks on because one man in a governor's mansion says we have to. Let that sink in. Go back to high school. Go back to your high school classrooms, your college classrooms, and a lot of other education I'm sure you've had, and think about how legislation is supposed to work. One man has ruled on executive order for 2 years affecting hundreds of thousands of children.
He needs to be hung.
Just a perspective where we're at. Another perspective real quick, I found it somewhat comical, not comical, when we were kind of talking and there was all this ruckus in the back. Last time I checked the Meetings Act, you have to make all comments public unless you're in executive session. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. One of the members here, I won't, out of respect, I won't point them out, literally grabbed his mask, pulled it down to talk to someone next to him.
That would be me.
So,
Raise your hand.
Raise
your hand.
You have asked our children to communicate and learn and socialize with that thing on you can and I bravo to you, I appreciate it.
I know, now he's
With that thing
smiling
on your face.
with his arms crossed over there.
You have got no problem asking our kids to not follow that same rule. Really quick, again, I know there's Meetings Act. I've been in law enforcement for 20 years. I just retired. Another tip, I've seen a lot of bad advice from lawyers. A lot of bad advice. And what I do know is when a lawyer says, hey, you should probably plead guilty, guess what the defendant can say? Nah, I want to plead not guilty. You have the option. Please don't stand behind a lawyer. Please don't do that. You may think that doesn't apply to you, and that's fair. Collectively as a group, you may think that this does not apply to us. Do not use lawyers as scapegoats. We are way too smart to realize that the lawyer is not your God and Savior. You have a choice. Really quick question.
I got a good lawyer.
Get it? Quick question about Meetings Act. Do you, in theory, have the option to raise a motion to vote to lift the mask mandate in this school right now? Just real quick, yes or no? Oh, no. Listen, we're not experts on the Meeting Act and school board meetings. Can someone please just answer that question real quick?
Make a motion. Oh my. Make a motion.
Just,
Yeah, I think it's possible. We'd have to make a motion to add a motion.
I get Robert's rules. I've been on this road. I've been a union member for 20 years, like I said. And the union thing's a whole other issue.
What? Go ahead, John. John.
That's why I'm asking.
This is the magic moment, guys. Right here. This is the magic moment. Sorry.
So, he said, because it's an action item, it has to be part of the agenda before the meeting.
Agenda.
We can't add it at this point.
And I get there's rules.
That's the state law.
Okay, so when like any good prosecution, I got a follow-up question. When is the soonest you can legally vote on this?
Tomorrow. When? Right, tomorrow.
I mean, from your perspective, when can you vote on this?
48 hours. I think we need 48 hours to post it.
You think? No. You're not sure? Possibly 48 hours?
I don't know.
Definitely we can do it in 48 hours.
Okay, so
Okay, that's the definite.
In order to have one of these big old meetings, as a request, I can't file a motion, I can't have seconded, I get it. I would implore you, please, I understand there's going to be supposedly an injunction being filed tomorrow. We all know that same lawyer that gave you advice is probably the same lawyer that's going to take your money and defend you. Please, I implore you, at your earliest legal ability, to rethink this vote and realize you're not beholden to a lawyer.
Amen.
Yeah.
So first of all, I was not planning on speaking tonight, but I couldn't sit back and listen anymore. I teach over at the primary building. I've been a teacher there for 17 years, so I'm a union member. And I sit here listening to all these other parents and teachers standing up here telling you we're not okay with the mask anymore. Yet our union over and over again sends out bulletins and alerts saying, we're standing up for teachers, we're fighting for your rights. Not for mine, not for all the other teachers. No one's asked us. So if you're sitting here afraid of the union of your teachers, think about how many parents, how many teachers are in this room right now? How many more are sitting in their classrooms afraid to speak up?
Oh, I'm not, I speak up all the time.
Day 4 of kindergarten this year, I had a 5-year-old walk up to me and ask where their teacher was. I was their teacher. Day 4, they couldn't recognize their teacher because they hadn't seen me unmasked. My freshman here hates school. She was a straight A student. My sophomore, 2 years he's been here, not made one friend from Gurnee grade. He only knows his woodland peeps. So if you are afraid of the union and that's what's holding you back, ask your teachers. Ask all your parents that are teachers. Our union is not speaking for us. They are bullying our children. They are bullying the school districts. My kids are more important than any adult teacher. So if I hear from one more adult, they're worried about their safety, take a medical leave. Yeah. I have great friends that have had cancer. When they get cancer, they take a medical leave because they're immunocompromised. They can't be around 40 kids, 20 kids, 60 kids, depending how many. So if you have a condition that makes this virus risky to you, take a leave. Yes. Because my kids can't get their life back. It's the same thing I told my parents. If you're uncomfortable being around my unvaccinated child, fine. They're more important than the adults. Yeah.
When I go to school tomorrow and refuse to wear a mask. Like, Austin.
You'll be sitting with my son, Brady Man again.
Like, what's gonna happen when we
You're
go
gonna
to
take away
school
our
tomorrow
education
and
when we refuse to wear a mask at school?
No, I actually got marked absent today, even though I was sitting at school in the auditorium doing my work. Because my mom got told that my grades are going to go down 10% for every 7 or 8 days that I miss school.
Oh well. Oh well.
Doing my work in the auditorium.
Go on a Valentine's vacation.
Like, am I going to keep being segregated from all the other kids that are still choosing to wear a mask? Like, am I going to be kept away from socializing with my friends and have to sit in the auditorium for the whole school day with the other kids that are in there? And marked absent. And we're told to sit, like, one in the top, one in the bottom, one in the top on the other side, one bottom on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen tomorrow?
What is going to happen tomorrow with my daughter? When she follows her beliefs.
Go ahead, read it out loud then.
Will she be
We'll
marked
wait.
absent? No. She has been for 2 days. Marked absent. In school, willing to learn, and has been marked absent.
So these kids
I'm still
What is going to
recording.
happen tomorrow?
Same with Austin, over there, right there. I see you.
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Answer your question.
Yeah.
Mr. Superintendent.
Sir?
Yeah, it does.
Sir, the one who pulled his mask down earlier, I'm very surprised for you to say we had no idea that this was going to take place tonight. Truly, with all the other schools who've been going through this, what did you expect? That we're just all going to sit back and twiddle our thumbs? You should have been
Didn't know it was going
prepared.
down, you shouldn't even be in that seat.
Austin, where are you? Austin.
Okay, we're gonna try and bring it back down again.
Okay.
We're going to welcome people to speak. Keep it short. I appreciate all the students that go up here to speak. Like the gentleman said before, I admire the fact that you want to come up here and say something. I don't want to get it to the point where people are coming up to speak just to talk to their peers so they can get some applause. If you have something you'd like to address,
People want to beat the heck out of you, sir.
Alright, so
tomorrow, if I show up without a mask and I refuse to go home, you're gonna have to forcibly remove me from school. I'm willing to get arrested to get removed from school, and I'd like to see what happens to you guys when that happens. I'd like to see the press, especially with the referendum. You guys don't want press around here, do you? No. And I don't know, we as students have gotten a group together who agree, have the same views, and refuse to wear a mask. We have over 1,000 views on where we're gonna show up tomorrow without a mask. So you're gonna have hundreds of students.
Post it on TikTok.
So I'm gonna ask you, what's gonna happen tomorrow when hundreds of your students show up tomorrow without a mask?
Yes.
Yeah.
They will refuse to wear a mask for the rest of the school year. I ask you, what's gonna happen? You're just gonna take away from our education? What are you guys gonna do?
What's your answer to that?
There is so much violence, gang related or not, in and around this school, and y'all are worried about safety from a mask. A piece of pie around my mouth ain't doing nothing protecting me from fights and violence. How about you guys start worrying about the real problem before you start worrying about a stupid piece of cotton that's hanging by a thread by my ear? Nobody wears that stuff anyways. Like, nobody does. And if you do, that's your choice. Nobody likes wearing them. Nobody does. But worry about the real problems before you start worrying about a stupid piece of cotton that nobody likes.
This is actually about COVID and not politics and money related. I'd invite all of you to walk around the hallways of school and see how many kids are properly wearing a mask, let alone an N95. So, I believe masks aren't effective if you wear them below your chin and below your nose. I can bet more than probably 50% of kids don't walk around here with masks on correctly.
Or social distance.
Or social distance. But yet, COVID disappears in the lunchroom though.
Yeah.
So,
I know, right?
volunteering yesterday
And at
for a
restaurants.
fundraiser for a club we have here. And I was told that I was not helping and that I had to go eat in the lunchroom 10 feet away from where I was standing. What, does COVID disappear in the lunchroom? I mean, what's the difference between if we're in the lunchroom and in the classroom without a mask on? That's what I asked. Why can you not remove the masks?
What's your answer to that?
I just want to let you guys know, I only have one thing to say. I will not be showing up to school the rest of the school year with a mask on. I will not wear a mask the rest of the school year.
One more thing to say as well. What are you gonna do when there's a bunch of kids protesting and screaming like at the doors tomorrow?
They said they're gonna share it.
Because I know that that's a plan, and I know that kids are planning to come protest here tomorrow in the morning, and I know that they're all gonna be screaming. What's gonna happen?
Make a motion.
Make it go viral.
I haven't worn a mask properly in school, like, ever. I haven't got COVID a single time. So what are the masks really doing? Nothing. Because if I'm not getting COVID and I'm not wearing a mask, like, it's not protecting me from anything. Is it? No. So what's the point of the mask if it's not even doing anything?
I have been unmasked this entire year. I'm also unvaccinated. And I have had COVID one time, and that was in July. I haven't been sick this entire year, and missed one school day, and I was due to an appointment. So I'm just saying, masks aren't effective. That's all I have to say.
I just want to clarify, you said the soonest you guys can vote on this is 48 hours, is that correct?
Yes.
So will you be meeting and voting on this in 48 hours?
Why do you keep shaking your head?
Make a motion, meet on it.
Everybody else is saying yes.
You make a motion, meet on it?
We can meet in 48 hours.
So, I just want to clarify. We want to know your stance. Is there a reason you can't do it?
Yes.
What is it? If you could explain, please explain the reason.
You can't add an action item to the agenda at a meeting like this, because it has to be posted beforehand. So that people who want to know about it know what's happening and they can come. That's part of the rule of having a meeting. So that's the rule.
We have to talk behind closed doors. We have agreement.
It's unfortunate I'm not as familiar with I'm not questioning you.
Agenda, not about you.
Okay. Well, you've got a good composition of the community here. And I think anybody that knows what's going on with schools and COVID and masks knows to be coming to this meeting tonight. And I know it's all over social media. So people know that this is a discussion tonight. It may not be on the board agenda, but people know this is a discussion tonight. And I think it would do everybody well if a vote was done tonight. It really would, because kids, the students, have questions as to what's gonna happen to them that you guys can't answer when they come to school tomorrow. You're now made aware that there's gonna be walkouts and protests tomorrow here at the school. You're now well aware that there might be media here at the school as a result of that. You have parents here that have taken time out of their schedules to attend this meeting to get a decision. And I think for the board's interest, for the school's interest, for the district's interest, for the community's interest, and most importantly for the students' interest, I think it'd be advisable to have a vote tonight.
We're not allowed to, though.
Can you take it?
A non-binding vote? No, we can't.
It's gonna be 2 days.
No, we cannot.
We can't have votes tonight, we vote to have an emergency meeting tomorrow night. That would give the opposing side time to get here. Social media, it's out there. Why can't you have the emergency meeting tomorrow night in 24 hours? Why do we have to wait 48 hours? What's that answer? You guys knew that we didn't talk.
So I was just informed that return to safe school was already on the agenda. Isn't that part of this? I understand there's no action, but it's on the agenda. And from what we were told, it only has to be on the agenda.
There has to be an action item on the agenda. We can't add an action item. I know it sounds like a detail, a silly detail, but that's the rule.
It sounds like government bureaucracy.
Absolutely.
But I understand.
We are part of
Can
the
you take a picture of my,
Yeah. All right, hang on.
yeah, because I want you to have a picture of it. You can share it.
Old business.
Okay, because I don't know who's gonna be
Under old
on
business, it's
spread the word like
item A,
wildfire,
is
that if
that
anybody
an
takes
action item?
video, to send it to me ASAP, so I know the answer and I'll be sharing it with 90% people, all the other people, because we're the ones organizing
I
everything.
think that would appease many people here.
We can't make it in 24 hours, we have to make it in 48 hours.
Why?
Because they have to
That's the
talk.
rules we have to go by, Beth.
Well, then let the kids come tomorrow and be in class without a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can make an executive decision, kind of like, well, I refer to him as Jelly Belly, but J.B. Pritzker has. I think you can make an executive decision tonight to temporarily allow mask optional until you have a formal vote within 48 hours.
No, we cannot.
That could be the decision of the principals. We can leave that up to the principals, whether they want to enforce the rules or not. And
I know, that's what I'm saying, he's eating
We
like,
keep moving along.
I understand. So within 48, so everybody clearly understands.
See?
48
He's
hours.
getting
we're gonna-
nervous.
That's as soon as you can have the meeting.
He's like
An
this
announcement will be
and
made.
yes.
An open meeting like this will be held.
See, he's
So
nervous.
we'll have an open meeting, what time, in 48 hours. So it's Tuesday, so you're
When
saying
you're doing
Thursday.
something bad,
So
your
Thursday
body
evening,
feels,
what time?
see? He said they need 48 hours.
Thursday evening, there'll be another meeting
At 9:30.
at 9:30 in the evening, because it has to be 48 hours
Make a motion.
to vote on mask optional.
Suggest you get a bigger room.
Thank you.
So hold on. Next up on the agenda is the board's discussion of visitor comments.
See, look at body language, guys.
Once again, to every student, right side, left side, who spoke in front of us tonight, my hat's off to you. When I was your age, I don't think I would have been strong enough to do that, so I applaud you.
You should say mask off, not hands off.
So I just want to address some of the comments were made, that we need to get out from behind the desk here and be parents and part of the community. I'm looking around, we are parents. We do see things the same way you do. We just happen to be on the board. You can laugh, you can snicker, we're living with the same things you are. Doesn't mean we like them, but we're living with this just as much as you are. You said, somebody made the comment, what you say doesn't matter. I can't say what my first comment was, but yeah, everything you say matters. It truly matters. Whether we agree with it or we don't agree with it, it matters. We do listen to you. You may not think we do. We listen to every comment and we take it to heart. And when I say I appreciate your comments to each one of you, I truly appreciate your comments and the time you took to come out here tonight. The comment was made that we need to be leaders and not to be afraid to step up. Yeah, I'd say we are being leaders right now. We're not afraid to step up. Sometimes being a leader is doing what we think is the best for the school, not what the loudest voice in the crowd says, but what we feel is best.
How do you think it's best?
Same point.
So, excuse me, you all got your chance to talk. Sometimes being a leader is making an unpopular decision. Sometimes our hands are tied. We have to go by certain guidelines, which may not be known to everyone.
The doctor
but
is so
I want to let each and
nervous.
every one of you know, we do listen to you. We
Okay.
appreciate your comments.
All right.
And we're living
God
through
bless,
this
guys.
mass
Please share.
society